from an outsider's perspective and now being part of the family, how big do you think Deion can make CU moving forward in the future here? Because all these people that think he's going to leave, you're crazy. This man ain't going nowhere.
Ain't no way I would go, but he could basically be a cooler version of Dabo Swinney. Like how Dabo just had that comfort zone locked for those years because nobody could recruit with him. When Florida State was down, they couldn't recruit with him. Miami couldn't. Nobody could recruit with Clemson when Clemson was at the top. Nobody in the Big 12 can recruit with a national imprint like Colorado can. And guess what? They only go get certain positions. All right, and this is something I'll talk about that I hadn't talked about before. But I just got through talking to a college coach, and they were worried about the transfer portal at a prominent school, and they were worried about the transfer portal. And one of them said, "Man, Deion had everyone fooled." He's like, because we only have 10 official visits left. I know Deion got to have 1 million.
Yeah, he doesn't hand out official visits until it's time,
bro. And so now you got to think how many people can come to Boulder in the transfer portal because it's going to be crazy because this may be the last transfer portal before revenue sharing. So there's going to be a lot of people jumping in, and then we go and Colorado's going to be able to say they can throw a party every weekend if they want to. Like Young Thug say he coming to the game next week, bro. The most popular rapper in the world. Like as far as what's going on with them. So when you think about everything that they can do, they're set up to reload every year. And now you got guys who really want to work. I was talking to Coach Flea, and he was saying, like, we were talking about Michael Welch. And he was like, man, we're not chasing all the 4 and the 5 stars that don't want to be here. We want the ones that want to come to work. If it's a 5-star that wants to come work, then we'll chase them. But we're not just chasing stars. We're chasing guys who got production and who got work ethic. And where we can get documented production and know that, hey, when we call the coach, it's not, oh yeah, he's a 5-star, it's gonna cost you this amount of money, or you got to give my training facility this. They're going to get dogs who want to play and who want to be developed because they know what it looks like, and that puts them at an advantage when you can take dogs from high school that you developed in your culture. That's what happens to these guys, to these teams. Think about the Yankees. For years and years and years after the 2000s, after they had their run in the 90s. After they had all, the World Series teams, they just started throwing money at players and putting teams together. They could never get it done. And because you don't have cohesion when you have a bunch of mercenaries. So who can hold a culture together every year if your team is just a bunch of guys chasing money? It's going to be the guys who came in who know what it is to actually work for it, who didn't come in with a whole bunch of candy. They came in to eat their vegetables to get strong. And so from that point, when they get the candy, they appreciate it. And so by that time, when you take that culture and you put it together with the guys who come in who already have college experience, man, Nakai Hill-Green, perfect example, went to Michigan, then went to Charlotte, leading tackler at Charlotte, or he had 80 or something. He had an amazing amount of tackles, goes into the portal. He's got now, and a lot of people don't realize All-American from Georgia, Jamon Dumas Johnson, Pop Dumas, was his linebacker mate at St. Francis in Maryland. Okay, cool. So he knows what it looks like. He came and I talked to him prior to the portal. We had a great relationship outside of football. I talked to him prior to the portal. He was like, dude, I'm going to work. Where you going, dog? I'm going to work. I had a linebacker coach tell me, you got to have guys with a mustache. And what's that mean? That means somebody who's coming in, they ready to go to work. Like they got kids at home.
Grown-ass man. Yeah.
You feel me? So they said, okay, so when you bring in guys with a mustache, so to speak, or you bring in guys like that with guys who have already been in the culture, bro, no, it's a powder keg. I love that's my term. It's a powder keg because once a powder keg can be sitting there and it's unassuming, but all it takes is that match to get lit and blue, and that's where I see Colorado.
All right, so I gotta ask this question because I know you know so much about recruiting. With the transfer portal being as prevalent as it is and CU going to have guys lining up to come to Boulder now rather than going out to find them, what does it mean for a high school kid to actually get courted and recruited and offered by Coach Prime? Because we've got out of my program here, 6-0 Football Academy in Denver, which we got to talk about at some point, an off air. They got Zane D'Souza, the big tight end at Loveland that's 6'6", 270. He's committed. They offered Deacon Schmidt, the big tackle up at Windsor up in northern Colorado. That we've got Dungeon family up there damn near every week, including my son who's a freshman at Mount Vista, getting eyes on. If you're a high school kid and you're actually being courted by this group, what does that say about you as a player?
You work hard, and your reputation means you work hard, because they're not going to get guys who don't work hard. I'm telling you, I know for a fact there are guys in Atlanta who are really highly ranked, but they call them low burn guys. And I know you know about that. If you're a low burn guy, that means you got all the talent, but it's low burn, which means that you're not going to burn your talent out at practice. Coach Prime don't want that. If you're going to be a pretty 5-star, right? Then he wants a gritty 5-star if he's going to get one.
Gritty 5 stars, not pretty 5 stars.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, like
cut that right there.
Yeah, like it's not going to be like, so when, first of all, it's a sign of honor, right, to be recruited by Colorado. But what it talks more about than your talent is your work ethic, because it ain't nobody who's not going to pick up the phone for Deion Sanders in high school football. I don't care.
Everybody's picking that phone up.
Yeah, you're going to pick up the phone from Deion and you're going to tell him what you want, because you don't know what's behind that. So you're going to tell him. And when Colorado comes, and like, people hate because he don't come to the school. They be mad. They be like, oh, why he ain't going out? Why he? Bro, like, if he goes, it's going to be like Lollapalooza or whatever school he goes to, because it ain't just about him. It's about his kids. It's about what comes with that effect. So the guys that he's recruiting heavily in high school, come see me and let me show you how to be here, rather than me just kind of love up on, like, y'all know who Deion Sanders is already. If he's calling you, if he's talking to you,
that's that old school way is played out too, bro. Like we have to go to every single school in the state. Why? We've got cell phones and social media, and like it's way easier to get in front of a coach these days if your tape backs it up. You'd agree with that?
Absolutely, man. This is the deal. You got some coaches that have to do that, right? Who may not. Okay, for example, how many kids do you think that grew up where I'm from in College Park, Georgia, by the airport, know what Hugh Freeze was doing 20 years ago? I barely know. But ask how many kids that can say, "Hey, Dad, what was Deion Sanders to you 20 years ago?" And then they point to the diamond turf. You feel me? Like that's the difference. And there's not a lot of people that could do that. Like, Deion is probably in a space of his own when you talk about worldwide to be able to do. Nationwide that can do that. Maybe,
I don't know if there's another coach in college football that can, bro. There's just not. Not even Nick
nobody has a resume. Yeah, ain't nobody got the resume, bro. So I think that's what. So I'm just excited, bro. So y'all gotta excuse me. But
no, trust me, we're always excited on this show. So this fits perfectly with what we're doing.
Man, so when you talk about what it means to a high school recruit, and I deal with a lot of them, like, that's been my job for the last year, but not even before I got into this because of how many high school kids I mentored. I know for a fact it means a lot when you get that call. So yeah, I think it's all about the fit and what you're looking for, because every kid may not be able to go to Colorado because they have other things that they have to go accomplish based on their upbringing. Like, I got to go get the most money I can get right now. Like, I got to, and not to say you can't get it here, or I got to stay Southeast because I need to stay close to my family because I got a little brother I need to take care of. Like, there's certain things that you have to be a fit for Colorado, and I think that that's what they're doing the best job of doing, is finding the fit. And once you get guys in the transfer portal, like, I'm telling you, it ain't even been an hour since I got off the phone with a SEC coach, saying, damn, Deion might have got to figure it out, because they struggling trying to figure out how they gonna handle the transfer. They already trying to figure out the transfer portal, and they know that they got a lot more slots than they do visits, and that's
do you think this kind of, obviously football's copycat, right? And that's just the way it works. How do you copycat this if you're the rest of the rest of college football? I know you can copycat a playbook. I know we can copycat a scheme. I know we can copycat a philosophy, but you can't copycat a movement, dog. There's only one guy in front of the movement. How are you going to copycat what Coach Prime does? It's like he's revolutionizing the way college football is being done, and it happened at the perfect time when NIL, Colorado, and Coach Prime all met at the perfect time.
The only way you can copycat it is like music, right? Like, everybody can't be Metallica. So what do people go do? They try to be Metallica in their town. So I think that's the only way that you can copycat it, is like take your base and just realize I can't go to Washington like I can go to Florida. So I might as well, wherever my school is, let me own that. And hopefully you're in a talent-rich area. That's the only way you can try to be a star where you are, because you're not going to be able to compete with the star power of Deion Sanders from coast to coast. And I'm not sure if you will find a more humble and relatable coach with that type of star power. Celebrity, period, bro. You got to call him what he is. That man is a celebrity, and y'all know him like I know him. Like, he don't have to be as cool as he is, and when he and as real as he is, because some people are scared to be themselves. He gonna call a spade, and basically he recognizes you by your fruit. So basically,
and look, I'm glad you brought that up, because I always say, I've said this on the show so many times, and like the interactions with my son and all the players and all the kids, and he always has time for everybody, which is crazy to me because everybody wants his time, but it's not the way it's not the way like the interaction goes. It's the way he makes you feel. Right. It's when, like, the 5 minutes he gives you, it's like he's not sitting there looking at his clock waiting for it to be done. He's throwing his hand on your shoulder and talking to you like a man, and eye to eye, and how's your family, and how's this and how's that, and he knows people's names and cares. Yeah. And you're looking at him and you're like, man, you're Deion Sanders, dog. You're way too cool to be this cool.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. That's a bar, bro.
It's just the facts.